Alright, I'm gonna keep this brief. I love Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Growing up, kart racers and Sonic games were my go-tos, and easily two of my top racing games I've ever played are Mario Kart Wii and Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Both of these games oozed that late 2000s and early 2010s charm, and Mario Kart Wii was the party game for the Wii. Whether you knew someone who had a Wii or knew someone who had only played one, there had to be a near 95% chance that they had played Mario Kart Wii. This game was my kart racer growing up. I took pride knowing I was the shit on the kart, and I cherish the memories that surround that game. But Sonic is Sonic, and Sonic is cool. To make a long story short, Sonic and All-Stars swiftly took all of my attention for its over-the-top and boisterous presentation and extremely brash attitude, which was rather unexpected for a game like this. Like, the announcer was an asshole. I love that dude. This game was everything I had ever wanted from a Sonic racing game, and considering not growing up with the Rider series, this game nourished my little brain just right to where I still hold this game in very high regards. You're probably thinking, what the f does this have to do with CrossWorlds? I'm getting to it, so one second. CrossWorlds is the first kart racer in years that has given me the exact same feeling that I got when I was younger playing those games. And it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what makes me feel that way, but everything about this game has me more hooked and hyped than I have ever been for a new Sonic title. The roster's diverse, with plenty of options for any player, a metric ass load of customization if you consider every unique car part and gear combo there is, and the rival system. Thousands upon thousands of unique voice lines between every character on the base Sonic roster, some being silly and some being freaky.
Don't get distracted, handsome. We're here to race, so keep your eyes on the road.
Come on, you're talking to a pro here. I know how to handle the curves like an expert.
But as the title says, after playing 30 plus hours, I still have my issues and complaints that, while not major, could either 1, bother me on full release, or 2, bother everyone on full release. But I gotta keep this brief, so I'm gonna get right into this. Now, arguably the most important part of this game are its mechanics and controls, so I want to touch on that first. This game controls phenomenally. If you're coming from Mario Kart, this controls a bit tighter, and if you're coming from 200cc play, you actually need to use your brakes to hit a few of these shortcuts, and it's not even on the fastest speed yet. I know I've probably said this a million times, but if you're more of an arcade racer enjoyer, these controls will be right up your alley. They are very precise and will punish you for overcompensating and undercutting turns and drifts, but also reward those who understand the mechanics and can use them most efficiently. While this game during the open network test didn't have a huge skill gap, I could definitely see there being evolving meta potential with the inclusion of gadgets and vehicle customization. While the vehicle customization isn't nearly as customizable as Mario Kart 8, as you're limited to parts that fall under the same class of vehicle or extreme gear, the personalization is a huge highlight of this game. While it is unfortunate that, for example, you can't combine speed and acceleration with a handling character to make the ultimate build, you can just as easily make a build fit for your liking, and you can personalize your vehicle with custom paint jobs, paint textures, decals, horns, aura. There's a lot, but I love how it seems almost impossible to have a similar looking vehicle as someone else. While it might perform the same as someone else's, the way you customize it to be yours is what makes it special. And of course, the gadgets. I think this is an awesome addition and really changes the pace as almost every gadget is viable. Well, almost. While this isn't the full sheet of gadgets to be expected in the final game, some of these need some slight balancing to really fine-tune them, and some of them are a bit strong. But then again, everyone else has access to the same gadgets, so it's up to personal preference. Next, the presentation. This game is presented phenomenally. During this beta, I didn't really take note of anything UI-wise that threw me off, as I think it was done well, but the gadget selection screen was definitely a lot better during the closed network test. While not as flashy, it was concise, and didn't require any mindless scrolling just to get to the gadget you need. This could be a reflection on not only the number of gadgets that have been added since then, but also gadget categories that have been added since said closed network test. Visually, the game is stunning. Colors are extremely bright and vibrant, and since Sonic Team made the choice to develop this on Unreal Engine, it runs very well and is quite well optimized for lower end machines in the OG Switch. And with everything cranked, it runs smooth with zero hiccups, at least for me personally. While it might be a little nitpicky, I do not like how you have to go back to the main menu to change almost any setting in the game. This might be due to it being a kart racer, which I absolutely get, but I guess since I'm used to it in at least recent Sonic games, it throws me off. Very minor, but still. Overall, not much I'd want changed here, but at the same time, it'd be nice to see these minor things get touched up before release. Now for probably my favorite part, the gameplay. Because, you know, what else would be my favorite part of this game. Anyways, this game plays phenomenally. Controls are tight, responsive, and a lot more punishing than I expected at the network test's highest speed available. Coming from Mario Kart to this does feel a bit more stiff when it comes to taking turns and drifts, which personally doesn't bother me, but it definitely took friends who checked this out a little getting used to. But it is a lot better than controlling near identical to other kart racers. But I think a highlight of this game is the rival system. Now, once again, if you played a Mario Kart Grand Prix, there will always be that one racer that's a thorn in your side the whole time and will frequently butt heads with you just to reach first. While this isn't a new feature in any regards for kart racers, the way CrossWorlds makes it clear who is after you and who will be the biggest pain in your ass is awesome. You and your rival will exchange banter between one another at the start of the race, and sometimes taking cheap shots at one another too. But it gets real interesting when the race starts, as your rival, like stated before, will be the biggest pain in your ass ever. They'll taunt you for falling behind, getting hit by their items, and ridicule you if they pass you or, for example, initiate a travel ring before you. And considering how high you can scale rival encounters, this might be a real single player challenge for those looking for one. I could literally play this for hours just to hear all the rival dialogue, and I honestly don't think I'll ever hear all of it because there's so much of it. Once again, minor complaint for me at least, but for a lot of other people, this is quite major, and I see where they're coming from. And it's the lack of dialogue from guest characters or DLC characters. Look, all I'm gonna say is Miku isn't dead silent, and that's truly all I wanted. But as far as I know, that's it. Steve, Alex, and Creeper make Minecraft sound effects, which, not gonna lie, are implemented pretty good. SpongeBob and Patrick make various SpongeBob-related sounds, and I'm not sure about other third-party collabs, but the biggest issue arises from the Sega collab characters that they have the license to, that they own the rights to, that they own, don't have voices. And it only seems like they'll have sound effects tied to them. I don't want to sound like an ass, and don't get me wrong, it's amazing that everyone gets access to free characters, free cars, and more, but it's damn near crazy to think Sega's own characters will be silent in one of their own games. Truly heartbreaking. Oh, and I have zero clue how the rival interactions will work, but seeing how it's been so far, I absolutely doubt they're doing anything special. While this isn't a deal breaker for me, I just for real want a good ass kart racer, and it's ticking that box perfectly for me. But for those who are considering purchasing due to these collabs, will be swiftly disappointed after dropping $70 at the minimum. This game isn't perfect, and while it's checking all the boxes for me, there's still some that have gone unchecked. One of the main issues I have that really threw me off is specifically the mix on the music. This is all over the place. Some songs sound too muddy, some instruments are way louder than others, some sound like I've taped two pillows to my head, and this might be one of the most heartbreaking parts of the experience of the network test for me. Like many others, I love the soundtrack for this game. It tackles so many genres and varying sounds that each track has its own unique identity. But if it sounds anything like this in full release, then nah, I'm kidding, but the music in Sonic titles are so important, arguably being the most consistent part of the series, and it's gonna suck if that's what this game is lacking due to some inconsistent audio mixing. You know what, let's tackle something else immediately. Now I know I'm gonna have people say it was a test, it isn't the full game. So that's why I'm making this point. Cross-platform matchmaking was seriously the smartest move this game could have made. Everyone can play with anyone they want, regardless of platform, country, all that jazz. But that is nothing without good netcode and good online matchmaking. And that's what this network test lacked 60% of the time. I'd invite 3 people to a lobby, one of them wouldn't show up for someone, back out, try again. Got 4 players and we're all readied up, network error. Back out, try again. All readied up and selected your race? Network error. Back out, try again. Selected your race and race started? Network error before connecting to the race. Back out, try again. Race started and you're waiting for it to count down? Network error. Back out, try again. Race counted down and you finished? Everyone readies back up? Someone gets a network error, and no matter how many times you try to cancel matchmaking, it works like 10% of the time. Oh, and by back out, I mean restart the game. It's not even worth trying to cancel matchmaking, as it never worked. Getting into a race and actually playing isn't too bad, but remember how I said Mario Kart Wii earlier? The online is comparable to that. Items hitting won't register, you can finish first and end up second and vice versa, and my god, the items are brutal. I know that might sound like a skill issue, but 2 words. Apotos Corridor. Thank you, I will see you later. The online is such a mess in the best way possible. And while I do understand that they did the test for this exact reason, and I do believe it will be fixed or at least better on release, I still have my doubts. Oh, and that price. God dang! Did you get all that? Sorry, this is all over the place, but Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is pure fun. A diverse and recognizable cast of characters, freedom to customize whatever, whenever you want, the ability to play with any of your friends with no limits to who can play, loads of free content with additional paid content if that's your thing, shit talking and a bunch of other goodies. I'm in, man. CrossWorlds has finally scratched that itch that I haven't felt in damn near a decade. This game oozes so much charm and charisma from like 12 characters and maybe 12 tracks that I played. Call me a tweaker hooked off one hit, now I can't go back. But still, the itchy these are issues I'd like to see resolved, and with almost a week or 2 weeks until release, I will wait patiently to see. Sega, Sonic Team, whoever was responsible for this open network test, I love you guys. This was the best way to advertise your game, and I cannot wait to spend even more time on the single player demo. Once again, you disagree with me? Argue with me in the comments. I'll make sure not to ignore it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all very soon.